Welcome to a Trucker's Mind podcast. I'm Eddie McGee.
It's your boy K Fings.
We're back, man. Episode 194.
Yes, sir.
Today, we've utilized almost all of the acoustic panels finally.
Yeah.
So, we're just enhancing
It just
that
feels different. I'm so
does.
used to it being like, it's your boy K Fings, K Fings, K Fings, K Fings, K Fings.
Yeah, it sounds like one of those monster truck rallies. Sunday. Come on down to the monster truck rally. Oh, what was the famous monster truck back in the day? Gravedigger.
Yeah. That might used to come to Bakersfield.
Those little cheap commercials they would come out with.
Yeah.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
He had that it was an old raspy white man voice.
Yeah, it sounded like every old white guy that smokes cigarettes.
Yeah.
Come on down. See Gravedigger.
Budweiser's in bikinis.
He said Budweiser. Sponsored by Budweiser and everything Budweiser. Oh, man. All right. Let's get right into it, man. New Year's resolutions. And see here, we're at the top of the month. It's the last month of the year. It's December. And this has to be one of the fastest years I've ever witnessed in my life. Mm-hmm. It's like we went through all the COVID shit in 2020, and then 2021 came around, and then boom, here we are at the end of the fucking year.
You sound like Madden.
Boom! Tough acting connected. Madden used to fucking, like, the commentary during the video games was so weird.
I hated it.
Like,
it was even worse when you start losing.
You start losing? Yeah. Wow, why is he even still playing the video game? He might as well just quit the game now.
I would have punted the ball here. He's still going for it on fourth down.
Wow. Can't believe he's going for it on fourth down. Didn't work the last 3 times. Like, man, fuck
that would
you.
be a funny skit. Like, what is that, Madden 07 or something like that?
Yeah.
Where it felt like Madden was, like, really inside the game talking to you personally.
Right. He'd be like, Madden be like, imagine if Madden was commentating during sex. Wow, he's going for that weak-ass move again? Missionary doesn't work. Should have went doggy style there, buddy. Boom. All right. New Year's resolutions, man. I think that the reason why I brought it up so early, it's not early, at the top of the year, was because people don't realize that they fat until January 1st. Mm-hmm. They don't realize that they broke till January 1st.
Yeah.
They don't realize that they have low self-esteem and anxiety and mental health issues till January 1st.
Yeah.
I just think that the new year is a revelation of all the things you tried to ignore. Mm-hmm. And now you faced with that shit because you've another year of being the same exact motherfucker. Yeah. And the unfortunate thing about it is there is a whole culture of people like that do this. And in January, the gyms are filled up. But, oh, wait a minute. The gyms may not be filled up because now we got the new COVID variant, which is the latest excuse for motherfuckers to be lazy all over again. Mm-hmm. Right? They're going to be like, I'm not going to the gym. There's a new variant out. Mm-hmm. Like, motherfucker, you quit every year. You went to the gym from January 1st to January 3rd, and your ass never came back.
Yeah.
Some people said, like, I have a gym membership, but I don't go because of COVID. I'm like, then do you work out at home? They just lie. Like, people just lie.
Yeah.
All this shit is, it just validates their laziness. Mm-hmm. And truth be told, bro, we live in a very toxic culture in regards to how we treat ourselves. Yeah. You know, they talk about, especially nowadays, body positivity, right?
Yeah.
Body positivity. I think the most positive thing you could do for your body is take care of it.
Yeah.
Right? I think the most positive thing you could do is take care of your body. Try to change your diet. Try to stop eating so much sodium.
Mentally and physically, though.
Mentally and physically, 100%. When somebody is 400 pounds and then they talk about body positive, there's nothing positive. You're killing your fucking self.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, as far as my vantage point, it comes from the fact that I lost a teammate at 35 years old to a heart attack, and my father lost his toe. He had his toe amputated due to diabetes. So when I tell you that I feel like you should love your body, that's what I mean. Mm-hmm. And I don't like to mention it too much, but I've mentioned my battles with dropping some weight. And people be like, well, Eddie, you're not fat. I'm like, it doesn't matter. I'm overweight. Technically, I need to get my weight down. I'm getting older, and it's not okay to have this on me. So I'm holding myself accountable and going through the proper channels to get my weight back down.
Mm-hmm. What's the importance of, like, starting prior to the new year?
The thing is you will have a leg up. Like, you will have a leg up starting as soon as possible than waiting until January 1st. Because what you're doing is you're basically will be comparing yourself to everyone else that started when you started. But if you go into a year with momentum, you're not going into a year like everyone else. You're not even having the same conversations because you've been doing this shit for weeks or months already.
Yeah.
And you actually will take it seriously, especially if you fall in love with the process and not the results. So
that's so important.
It's so important because if you only want the results, you're gonna quit when you don't get them. When you get them, like if you don't get them right away, people just give up.
Yeah, that's facts.
You fall in love with the process and you start getting results. It's just the cherry on top.
It's the grind, man. I think about myself, and I'm not where I want to be as far as the structure of how I do things or how I operate, how the podcast goes,
right.
My writing and music and stuff like that. I'm not where I want to be. Not as far as success. Success is, it comes at its own time, but I'm not where I want to be as far as like the way I structure it. Like,
right.
And I'm working towards that. But the January 1st is just another day to me. It doesn't, obviously it's a new year and it kind of brings forth its own energy. The people around me kind of like are more excited about a new year than I am.
Right.
Because the diligence in which I approach today is going to be the same diligence in which I approach January 1st, 2022. And I think that's the best way to operate because when I think the people that kind of like lean on, oh, it's a fresh start or new year, new me, and all these philosophies, like it doesn't actually work because you're almost embedding an excuse for the next 3 or so weeks to be a lesser version of yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? So and most people that operate like that don't really have a switch.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I don't see anybody that's extremely overweight or that's, that is their New Year's resolution is to lose weight. They're, magically going to start from January 1st and keep that going throughout the whole year. And
right.
We're talking about weight, but it's not even about that. It's about just anything you want to do, whether starting a business or you have goals and aspirations of, maybe getting an Etsy store up or maybe being like, maybe your thing is like Instagram or TikTok. So whatever the case may be, like you got to start right now.
Yeah, you do.
And the most important reason you should start right now is because you don't know if you'll be here on January 1st.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact. You don't want to die being a lesser version of yourself. Imagine if you died, and this is going to piss some people off, I'll be honest. But imagine if you died overweight, bad mental health, you died not being your true higher self. Mm-hmm. You died not even remotely attempting to try to accomplish anything. Mm-hmm. You would be fucking ashamed. If there was any form of consciousness after we die, you would look at your life and say, man, I fucking blew it. You only get one shot at this shit, man.
Yeah.
You only get one shot at this shit. So at the end of the day, if I was to die, knock on wood, but it's going to happen to all of us. Well, we got wood here conveniently.
Yeah.
There's wood here conveniently. I'd be like, yo, I got 250 episodes, 750 episodes, whatever. You will always be able to hear me on SoundCloud because I've invested in myself enough to where I left something behind. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Let's go beyond that. Let's say, you're getting older and you want to get married. You want to find someone that you really want to be compatible with. Look at the things you're doing now and ask yourself, do you genuinely deserve that person? Look at your life. Are you always at the club? Are you always drinking? Are you always inebriated? What kind of person would want that? Until you become your higher self, you shouldn't expect that from anyone else. Mm-hmm. Me, I look at myself like this. I feel like I'm a decent guy. But what if I'm not man enough to have the woman that I say I want? Mm-hmm. That requires work. So I still have to work on becoming a better self. Make sure I continue to get myself together, whether it's from weight or anything else. I have things that I have to get done. Continue to build on my finances, all of these things, because I want to be ready for that woman if she comes.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that, in terms of relationships, we don't think about. Like, right. I think that most of us think about finding a partner that you like or that you're attracted to, and right. having this like this beautiful bond. But I don't think most people think about relationships in terms of what the other person needs to work on in order to
100%.
In order to deserve that
Yeah.
thing. And sometimes it happens to where you miss out on, a beautiful partner because you didn't put the work in prior to getting that person.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people that they just miss out because their maturation was after their partner, or they were probably had one foot in the relationship, one foot in the streets, and they messed around and cheated, and now they don't cheat no more. But that partner that they had is long gone.
Yeah.
Or just anything, like you could have certain baggage that you're bringing into certain relationships. Maybe your husband cheated on you, or your boyfriend cheated on you, or you got daddy issues, or all these things, and you haven't worked through them.
Fix that shit.
Yeah, and same thing with dudes. Like, dudes be having daddy issues and stuff like that, or just anger issues, low emotional intelligence, and they're bringing all this stuff into relationships. And you argue with your husband or your wife one too many times, and then you end up missing out on really good people because we haven't done the work on ourselves. So I think that's something that is rarely ever talked about, but it's extremely important.
100%. And I seen something recently. I'm gonna tie all this in, where a guy mentioned, he's seen a statement, a lot of statements going around. Real men don't cheat, and he said that's false. Real people cheat all the time. Great people cheat. Martin Luther King and all kind of other people have cheated. Firemen,
Jay-Z.
There are women who have completely happy marriages with their husband and they still go suck some dick somewhere. There's all kinds of people who cheat. So it's not a real woman or a real man problem. It's a discipline issue. So if you go into the new year and you're single and you've cheated on every girlfriend that you ever had, you need to make sure that you can have the discipline it takes to treat the next woman that you're with the amount of respect and dignity that she deserves, and you need to keep your dick in your pants. So these are things you need to work on, whether you're a woman or whatever. A woman told me one time that she's cheated on every boyfriend that she ever had.
That's crazy,
right? And I was like, I wasn't gonna be with her at all. Like, it wasn't like that. But I was just like, oh man, this is just terrible. But I respected her for her saying that, because it just showed like she recognizes what's wrong with her, but you have to actually do the work to fix that shit.
Yeah, I'm over that. That they say like in terms of addiction, like the first step isn't admitting you're addicted or whatever,
right?
The recognition of it or whatever. It's like that's just talk at the end of the day.
She was addicted, all right. She's addicted to dick.
A lot of dick. But yeah, I think that's just lip service. You know what I mean? It doesn't actually mean anything. I know people that are drug addicts or do just drink, alcoholics or whatever, and they can recognize like, man, I know I got a problem, but and it's just the same thing.
Same shit. You're not helping yourself or anybody else when you don't fix it. So when you're going into this next year, you talk about the resolutions and this, that, and the third. Like, do the work, man. Just pray and do the work. We're going into a new year. I think that what holds more relevance than anything is, are you a little bit better than you were a few weeks or month ago? If not, man, if you're not getting better, you're getting worse.
Do you have any resolutions that you care to share? You don't have to. I'm just asking.
Do I have any resolutions? Not so much resolutions. I already have shit that I'm working on, and I don't have any resolutions. I have things that I've already started that I've been working on that I want to get done.
Yeah.
And these are things and goals that I've had for quite some time.
Yeah.
I don't have anything new, but what I would say is I would hope, because people talk to me about kids or marriage a lot. They'll be like, so you're 36, man, like you're getting old. You want to get married? I can't even envision the idea of marriage or kids without a good woman.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even want to say, I don't even know if I want kids or not, but I think that if a decent woman was to come into my life and I'd be like, yo, this
make it a lot easier.
I want this woman to be the mother of my children, then I would trigger that in me. Yeah. But I would say that I need to be eligible for a woman like that first before I can even, make that real. And the only way that I'll know that I'm eligible for a woman like that is when I feel comfortable with the work that I've done on myself. Do I feel like I've made some strides in my life? Yes. But do I feel like I'm completely eligible? No. I'll be honest. I feel like I still need work. And I feel like if that's something that I want long term, there are some things that I have to get done in my own life before I can even have that as an expectation. That's the biggest issue I have with a lot of people is your expectations don't match the work that you need to do on yourself. So you expect some knight in shining armor to come sweep you off your feet, but you sucking 4 dicks a week.
Yeah.
Like you need to calm down. Like I don't think that any solid woman or man is gonna want someone who is always in the streets, because you can't code switch and go from fucking half the town to all of a sudden you're a wife or all of a sudden you're a husband. You have to make that transition mentally, and then it becomes a real change.
It's an energy thing. Like you can't we talk about the law of attraction.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if you're working on yourself, if you are that person that, you just very worldly with your body parts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can't expect to have to find a good wife, because you're going to be attracting a bunch of hoes, for lack of a better term.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? So if you're that person and you want to finally settle down and you want to do something, you gotta cut a lot of that stuff out cold turkey, work on yourself, start reading books, start hitting the gym, just, be the best version of yourself.
Right.
So when you do run across, and the thing about it too is, as far as the law of attraction goes, the places you put yourself in are going to be
1,000,000%.
More than likely the place that you meet that significant person. So, I don't think this really happens in today's day and age. But if you're a person that you like, man, I'm not going to the club no more. I'm gonna just start hitting the library on Friday evenings and just, try to look for a new book every, and then you run into the librarian or, somebody else on the same wave, like y'all reading the same type of self-help books or something like that. Yeah. And that's just how changing your behaviors and putting a positive spin on your story can lead you to just being around better people.
100%. Just to be honest too, is people say things. I've heard some statements like you need to go out. You're not going to find the love of your life sitting on the couch or whatever like that. And it's just like, to be honest, bro, like there is no place to meet people. Mm-hmm. That's such a bullshit statement. Mm-hmm. Like, and I'm not saying you should sit on your couch. I think you should be proactive, but don't go out to meet people.
Everyone has a different story too.
100%. Mm-hmm. Like if you do go to the library, you're going to genuinely read books and you're going to grow your knowledge on something. You may bump into some women there, and that type of woman may be on the same wavelength as you. You're both in the fucking library. Mm-hmm. That's a great place to meet somebody instead of inebriated at a club.
Yeah, you can't find a wife at
the girl that you thought was wife material at the club, she fooled you, brother. Because the last 4 dudes done had her in the last 4 weeks. Mm-hmm. When you can't put yourself around low energy and expect something to come out of it. And this is the biggest mistake. And for all the people listening to this, I just want you to think about where you met the last 4 or 5 people you've dated and ask yourself why the fuck it didn't work out. Oh, you met him at Club Bricks. You thought he was cute, huh? Okay, that didn't work. Oh, no, you met him at that bar. That didn't work out.
Yeah.
Oh, you met him over at a nightclub in LA. Oh, that didn't work out. Why the fuck you think it didn't work out?
Oh, you met him on Tinder.
Oh, you met him on a dating app. Oh, that didn't work out. Why the fuck do you think it didn't work out?
Yeah.
Look at the places that you're entertaining these people at. Mm-hmm. That's why it don't work. I'd rather meet a woman at a gas station. That don't mean she's a good woman. Mm-hmm. I'd rather meet a woman at a fucking grocery store or a gas station, where at least I could actually have a conversation face to face than be in a loud club full of strangers who are drunk and expect to actually meet a real human being. That shit is crazy. Yeah. So another thing you got to do is you have to being mature only allows you to be in so many places. So if you work on yourself, you're gonna be like, yo, why am I around these low vibrating people? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not with this.
Girls don't like low vibrations either.
Man, I'm gonna tell you the biggest red flag. If a person cannot have fun without drinking or smoking, get rid of them. Mm-hmm. If you need to drink or smoke to be having any type of fun, get rid of these people. Because there's some people that have such a low emotional IQ, and they have this form of social anxiety, and they don't feel secure within their own personality to be sober around people. They feel like they need to be inebriated in order to have some type of to be more socially inept, or I guess hopefully I'm using the right diction. Mm-hmm. But if you run into people like that, stay away from them. Mm-hmm. All they're doing to themselves is sinking themselves even lower.
Yeah.
It's some women that I know, and I'm not gonna say no names, obviously, but attractive women. You know, probably around my age, maybe a little younger. But all they do is drink and smoke and complain about men. And it's like, yo, look at yourself. All you do is drink and fucking smoke. If I'm a dude, I'm gonna keep it real. All I want from you is some pussy. I don't want nothing from you but pussy, because I can't trust a woman that all she do is drink and smoke. The same way a woman shouldn't trust a dude that all he doing is chasing pussy and being at the club every week. You should never trust a man like that.
You know what's sad about those sector of women you're talking about? That a lot of them are actually like nice human beings.
100%.
You know what I mean? They could grow into like somebody that could be a great mom or whatever, but they just have these habits that are not conducive to having no real long-term relationship. And they haven't figured that out yet, and it's unfortunate.
Keith is 8,000,000% true. And I mean, right. I said true. That's a true statement. That doesn't mean these women are bad people. Really nice, probably very nice, really cool people, but the type of people and things you entertain is the shit that's keeping you from what you want. Mm-hmm. And this is what we keep, the cycle we keep repeating. Yeah. I've gotten to a place in my life where I just like, nah, I've had multiple women over, I don't know how much, what span of time, but I was telling Keith, they'll hit you up like, hey, like I'm hella drunk right now. I want to come by. I want to hang out. And I'm just like, I'll make up a lie or something. Like, oh, I'm not home. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm tired. I got to go to sleep. I got to go to work. Yeah. I'll make up a lie. I don't want to fuck a drunk woman at 36 years old. What do I look like? I'm a grown-ass man. Yeah. I mean, maybe if I was 21, 22, but it's just so low to me.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, to have a woman in the house and her fucking eyes, sloppy eyes rolling all in the back of her head, and I'm fucking that? No, thank you.
Eyelashes falling off.
And then not to mention, like, you can't ever complain about men if you want to fuck and have drunk sex all the time. We got an actual topic about this we'll get into next, but it's certain things that you got to stop, dog.
I think one New Year's resolution for a lot of people is to or what they actually should look into, because the weight loss, the money goals, all these things, and there is a real science to actually visually seeing things that you're writing down. Like that's an important aspect of it. But I think a resolution that more people should look into is getting rid of some friends.
Oh yeah,
because it's a lot of people out there hanging on to relationships, or just because you've been friends since high school, or just because y'all been dogs since since college or whatever the case may be. But a lot of people are holding on to friendships that are like bringing them down emotionally, bringing them down, career wise, and all these different things. And we primarily focus on like the growth aspect of a lot of stuff. But I think there's some small things that we can do as people to make your life better. Like imagine all that time you spent like, answering the phone calls for your friend that just can't get their life together.
Yeah, or, my God.
That person that is just negative, just the type of energy they bring around every time you hang out with them, or the person that's not really elevating you.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like that. I think, the best thing you could do for yourself is to surround yourself by people that are like go-getters, and that's gonna motivate you to go get it, because they're gonna be bringing you ideas and stuff like that, versus the people that's just bringing you down, or always want to gossip when you're around, or y'all just sit around and scroll through Instagram and look at the girls in the bikinis or whatever the case may be. I just think that's important.
You have to evaluate whether you have friends or enablers. Mm-hmm. You're either enabling them to keep the same behavior because you don't got the balls to tell them about themselves, or they're enabling you to be the same exact human being you've always been. Mm-hmm. If somebody is not trying to help propel you, or you're not trying to push each other, then you need to get rid of them. Point blank, period. Some people, you can't even be honest with them because they got their heads shoved so fucking far up their own ass that they will fight you to tooth and nail about something that they really have a problem with, but they'll try to convince you it's not a problem. Mm-hmm. And it's like, motherfucker, I'm trying. If I can't talk to you as a friend and tell you, yo, you need to stop drinking so much. You got 2 DUIs. You need to chill out. You're like, no, I'm not really an alcoholic. I just got caught up. Like, no, motherfucker, you are alcoholic. You need to get help.
Yeah.
If you tell them that and they don't want to listen, get rid of these people. And whatever outcome comes in their life, that's on them.
Yeah, I think one thing too, like, you know, as far as like recognizing your friend group and stuff like that, you gotta be mindful of like what type of information you could tell these people.
Yeah.
You know, because sometimes we like to guard our issues that we're dealing with, but if you know, say you going through it one week and you just like, hey man, you know, is it cool if I hit you up? Like I just got some stuff I want to get off my chest. Mm-hmm. And you know, they not really trying to hear that, or they don't give you, and you don't even necessarily need advice from these people, but they just not giving you a listening ear, you know, or they giving you that dismissive advice like, man, get over that. Like I know your girl cheated on you or whatever, but man, it's a lot of hoes out here. Like, you know, that type of like lame advice, that's not the type of people you should be hanging around. Like I think it's important to like low key like test people. Like test people at, you know, obviously your feelings and emotions, but even like information. You know, sometimes like you could say something to somebody and then, you know, all of a sudden you hear it from, you know, somebody you didn't even tell it to, and you just like, yo, like this person is out here gossiping about me or telling, you know, personal information, confidential information about me.
There's certain ways you can tell people selfish. I'm gonna keep it real, and this may sound like a bad test to some people. Like if I'm chilling with a young lady and we've hung out a few times and I've taken her on a few dates, and each time I paid or whatever, I'm not tripping. But at some point, I expect for you to, you know, step up and say like, "Oh no, I got this. I'll pay for this."
Reach for the tab.
Yeah, reach for the tab and at least do it. If you done took somebody out all these times and they don't do it, they have a certain amount of selfishness to just allow you to do that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Some people say, "No, that's not true. You know, a man should always take care." Nah, fuck all that.
You know what? Too, I think that idea is kind of lame. But I also know that people that are saying that probably aren't actually taking women out that often, right? Because me and my girl, we went to Tahoe Joe's and we didn't actually have to pay for it because we had a gift card gifted to us. Yeah. But the meal was like $66, right? So, and that's not no chump change. You know what I mean? If you spending $66 on a meal, like that's a...
Was that for just y'all two?
Yeah, for both of us.
Okay.
Which is not, you know, it's not
crazy,
cheap.
It's not cheap, but it ain't crazy.
Tahoe Joe's is definitely one of the restaurants where you spending like $25, $30 on each meal. You know what I mean? I say that to say if you a guy and you courting women consistently, maybe you taking two, 3 women out over the course of a month, or you and your girl are eating out that consistently, like that's hitting your pocketbooks.
Oh, it's hitting your pocketbooks hard.
Yeah, that's $100, and you know, if you go two, 3 times, that's $120 easily. Yeah, if
a woman pull out her pocketbook, let her pay for everything. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I'm all like the first date, I'm like, yo, me 100%, I'll pay for that. Second date, me 100%, I'll pay for that. You know what I'm saying? If it's serious, like let's say the projection between y'all is serious, because if it's serious, then eventually I expect for her to step up.
Yeah.
But if it's just like we just probably finna fuck or something, we're not gonna make it to the third date. So if I ain't fucked by the third date, then
yeah. It's even outside of like the dating stuff, like just a woman. It says a lot about a woman if she's just willing. And I've been on, I wouldn't even call them dates, but I've had like lunch with like a female friend or something like that, or breakfast or something like that. And she's reached for the tab, and it's been like a low key argument. And she'll be like, "No, don't worry about it. I got it." I'll be like, "All right," and then I'll just put some cash for the tip or something like that.
100%.
But it just says a lot about you that you're willing to.
It does.
Almost like outside of the being a good person, but also breaking these like female stereotypes.
Facts.
Or these gender norms, or these gender roles and stuff like that. Because especially like, you know, a lot of women are pushing for equality and stuff like that. So I think that's a small step that we can all just kind of like normalize, you know, the women, you know, paying certain bills, or women picking up the tab, or, you know, just women taking care of their man in the 100%. Way that, you know, the men generally take care of women.
I was listening to a podcast, and this dude said like, this is when I knew that I needed to marry my wife. He's like, he was always used to being a breadwinner and taking care of the family, and he had like a pretty long spread where he couldn't find work, and it was getting real tough, and he was getting real broke. And he basically had like his balance was down like a couple dollars, and they went out to eat, and he felt embarrassed that his wife had to pay, or no, his girlfriend at the time had to pay for the meal. So she Venmo'd him. She texted him to check his phone. She Venmo'd him the money so he could pay at the table.
Oh, dang.
And I mean, that's a little bit of ego to me, but at the same time, it meant a lot to him because it showed like that she cared about him.
Yeah.
So he was like, when I get my money right, I'm about to get her a ring. And he said, I guess he started working. He working all this overtime and stuff. And his girl was like wondering like, what's going on with this guy? Like, I understand you want to work, but come on, man. And then all of a sudden he came back with a fat rock, and he was like, "Will you marry me?" And she was like, "Oh my God!" Like,
yeah.
So and that says a lot. There's women out here that will take care of their dude. Some people consider it like, "Oh, you can't be spoiling no man. That's not how it works." Like, man, if you go on a vacation or something and you want to spend all the money, I'm not gonna ever argue with women that want to do that.
You know, it's funny too. Like I guess there's like celebrity relationships that we idolize. Very rarely is it a relationship where the female ain't doing nothing. Like even if, I don't know if many people actually looked up to Kim and Kanye, but I'm sure there were probably some people out there. But Kim Kardashian is extremely successful as a businesswoman. You know, Kanye is a businessman. And obviously Jay-Z and Beyonce, they both, you know, two of the top musicians over the past 2 decades. And, you know, when we think about, you know, I don't know if it's healthy to idolize relationships, but no. I just say like, you know, in terms of kind of building that power dynamic or that king and queen, you know, the empire that you want to have as far as a relationship goes, I think it's important to have, and that's just a small thing, like a partner that is just willing to pay for a dinner. But it says so much as far as your relationship goes. Yeah,
people always be posting about that whole start of Empire thing. And it's like, shut up.
Most of y'all just watch Empire.
Yeah. How you gonna start an empire with a nigga you met at Club Bricks? The fuck are you talking about, yo?
Yeah,
that's so wild. Yeah, but yeah, we strayed a little bit from the topic, but ultimately, you know, when you go into this next year, whatever you wanted to do, at least look up information online, find a way to get that ball rolling now, because you will go into the new year with momentum. And I guarantee you, by the time January 1st starts, you will be eyes and ears ahead of everyone who is barely thinking about becoming a better person in the new year. Oh, by the way, last but not least, we're all going to die. So knowing that we're all going to die should be a motivational force that gets you to move your ass. I've been to the funerals of, I've seen 4 men in the last few years that are exactly my age that died. Okay? So tomorrow is not promised. Your next moment's not promised. Make sure you do something about this shit, man.
I think even this Office Space 2-3 years ago, I think it is now. I got the ball rolling in December of, you know, prior to the new year coming along. And I think I paid up the 2 months, the deposit and then the first month's rent. And, you know, I got the keys, I think. I don't believe it was New Year's, but it might have been like the 2nd or the 3rd or something like that. And then but I had got the ball rolling prior to the end of the year. So yeah. I think it's just good momentum to go into to the new year. And I think, like, you know, if you switch the way that we think about January 1st, think about it in terms of when you start to do things consistently, when you start to accomplish goals, you could think about it as more of a reflective thing. Because I think the way we tend to look at it now is more of a negative thing. Not negative in the sense of like we're doing bad, but we're always like, dang, I need to do this. But when you're operating in a way where you're actually accomplishing things, you can take January 1st as like, yo, I bought a house. Yep. Hey, I got my credit right. Yep. Hey, I saved $5,000 this year. Hey, yep. I got a new car. So I think you know, that's the thing. Even for me, like, I look back on some of the stuff I wrote down and I accomplished, not every single one of them, but I did accomplish some of the things on there, and it feels really good. And it feels really good to know that you're not waiting on a time slot.
Exactly.
You know? So
yeah. Well, there's that, folks. Switching gears. Drunk sex is a problem in America. I did some time looking up some statistics in regards to drunk sex, and this is something funny me and Keith found before the pod, but I don't really know how relatable this is, but I'll read this before we even go into the conversation. It's about Plan B, actually. You slip up, either the condom busts or you just simply don't have protection.
Yeah.
It says Plan B has a weight limit of 155 pounds, but it's still safe to take morning after pills even if you fall above the recommended weight limit. Although there's a chance they might not be as effective, it's not likely to pose any health risk. So it won't cause any health risk, but your ass might get pregnant.
Yeah.
So if you messing with a thick girl, make sure you get her 2 pills instead of 1.
She need a Plan C pill.
A Plan D. It's women out there that's not fat at all. They just thick.
Yeah.
And this Plan B ain't gonna work.
That's crazy. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
It's probably a lot of people that I doubt they read the back of the thing or whatever, and they took it and they still end up having a baby, and it was like, man, I thought this was gonna work.
Yeah, well,
but they didn't know they was 156
Ooh,
pounds.
500.
156.
Yo, them 500-pound girls be having boyfriends doing on was it my 600-pound life or whatever?
They be in relationships.
Yeah, they be having a boyfriend.
They be having sex.
I don't know if they having sex.
If you that big, you can have sex in any crevice.
Yeah, they be like, oh, get that.
Because most women got 3 holes that you could probably penetrate, but if you that big, you could probably put it in between.
I think when you get that big, sex is not conventional. Like sex turns into like pancakes or something. Ooh, that syrup.
God damn.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I don't even know how that works.
Shit, you asking me? I don't know.
Yeah.
It says here are some facts about alcohol abuse. This was really strange. It says 80% of first sexual experiences occur under the influence of alcohol, and it says some stat here underneath. I don't know how serious or how bad this is, but it's prevalent.
Where is it? You got to cite your sources, man.
The source is from. Geez, it says valueoptions.com.
Okay.
And then another one, alcohol stats and statistics. Mm-hmm. It says under 40% of men believe it's acceptable to force sex on a woman who is drunk. That's nuts.
Under 40% believe that.
Yeah, it says 40% of men believe it's acceptable to force sex on a woman who is drunk.
That's a wild.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's a crazy one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then there's another statistic, and this one is bad.
Mm-hmm.
This is another bad one. This one states, and by the way, this is just people in general, but it says survey finds average woman has 8 sex partners and is drunk at least 5 of them.
That's crazy.
That's fucking nuts.
Mm-hmm.
It says some women having way more than a cocktail to ease their dating jitters, according to a new study. Researchers surveyed 3,000 British women ages of 18 to 50. Okay, this one is a British study. There's another one too, American study. They got a couple different studies.
I heard that Henny dick hit different though.
What do you mean?
That Henny dick?
I ain't never had Henny dick in my life. Yeah, I don't know. And then here's the thing. Now here's the thing. Now people gonna misinterpret it. I said I ain't never had Henny dick. They be like, this nigga Eddie had dick.
I know what you mean.
I have never personally drink Hennessy and gave the dick. For all the people that might come on here with a fucking joke. Yeah, but to make a long story short, most people, and there was another one that said, it was mirroring this one that says 80% of people have drunk sex. Mm-hmm. That's scary, man. Mm-hmm. It speaks to a couple problems. One, we got an alcohol issue for one. Yeah. And 2, it lowers your inhibitions. The most scary thing that I would never want to hear is me and a girl hanging out, we have sex, we both come and we go to sleep or take a nap or whatever, and she wakes up like, oh my God, what am I doing here? Mm-hmm. That's one of my biggest fears. Mm-hmm. Especially in 2021, you don't want to be in a situation like that. Mm-hmm. And that's not cool, man. Like I don't know, it's just really strange how many people, like I mentioned this we were talking about a minute ago, young lady wanted to invite herself over and she said she was drunk, and I kindly declined. Yeah. I don't feel comfortable having sex with drunk women. Mm-hmm. And then there are many other occasions where women will try to get you drunk. Yeah. You'd be like, well, I tell them, like, I got to drive home. I can't drink. They'll be like, just try this. Just drink this. Just drink this. And it's like, I don't understand why you trying to get me drunk.
Yeah, I guess, it's one of those things where I think a lot of people are not comfortable just being themselves and just having sex. So they gotta, sip a little bit in order to feel like, just to feel more comfortable. But to me, and I don't drink, but I would imagine like if I am not comfortable doing something sober, like what would make me more comfortable doing it when I was drunk?
Right. Now, it doesn't bother me to have a beer or two, but I don't need the beer. There's a difference. Like, I don't need the beer to have sex.
Also, like the drunk thing is different. Like, it's one thing to sip some wine when you're chilling with your female or whatever the case may be, but you got to be drunk, like, in order to have sex. That's wild.
That's wild, yo. Yeah. That's wild, and it's the average. I think that people that are listening to this podcast now, they're going to reevaluate what they've been doing, because I guarantee you that people are listening. Like, if they're married, they're not going to be drunk while they're like married. Some probably do need to drink before they have sex.
It said that in the
married and single.
You said that there was some women that said that they drink every time before having sex with their partner.
That shit is, that's wild. Mm-hmm. Yeah, married and single, that's true. Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
I would imagine, like, some people may not be attracted to their partner, or just not, the sex may not be that great, so they gotta.
Here's another one. 3 or 4 women drink before sex, survey finds. Many women say they prefer to drink alcohol before having sex because it makes them more confident about their sexuality and lowers their inhibitions. 3 out of 4 women surveyed included both married and single women, said they like to drink before sex, and about half said they like to be tipsy during sex because it lowers their inhibitions. 6% of the 3,000 women said they had never had sex while sober, while 14% said they can't sleep with their significant other without drinking first. The women surveyed had an average of 8 partners and have been drunk when having sex with at least 5 of the 8. The fact that alcohol plays an integral role in their love lives shows that women are looking for a boost in self-esteem when it comes to their bedroom antics, said Catherine Lakeland of Femme Fresh, whatever. Dang, your brother is just blowing up with text message. But in doing so, many women will be losing self-control, and this is when drunken one-night stands are more likely to occur. Mm-hmm. But let's be clear. These surveys are more or less speaking about women, but men are drunk as well. Mm-hmm. So this is these studies, it's not a collaborative study with men and women, but most men are also drunk. So, I mean, we're too old to keep doing this, bro. We got to start breaking these cycles.
Yeah.
Too old. You're too old to be going to these places and drunk. And then the thing about it, too, is like, I think a lot of it, too, is like you want to absolve yourself from this situation. Like, you'll be like, I'm not a slut. I'm not a hoe. I'm just drunk, and I just want to have fun. And it's like, if you don't want to if you feel ashamed of doing what you're doing, then don't do it.
Well, yeah, that's a simple concept. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's scary, though. I think that, like, especially like you said in 2021, where there's many people coming out and saying they've been raped, and there's all these sort of
it's terrible,
and
man.
The definitions are becoming more and more defined. Nuanced. Yeah, so it's just like, whether they're saying like I forget what the definition of it is. I think they're calling it rape if you remove the condom, or they're trying to make that like they're trying to like define that in the law so that there's that's
fucked up though. You should never do that.
Yeah, that's wild.
That's wild, bro. Yeah. You having sex with a chick, you just take the condom off and you fucking. That's strange. You could have the fucking disease and give it to her. That's fucked up.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's bad. Mm-hmm. That should be a crime.
Yeah.
I've always, if I'm having sex with a chick and we're not together, I would be mortified to take my condom off. Mm-hmm. Because it's like, yo, I'm not trying to be stuck with this chick for my whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine. It's a lot of loose guys out here. Some dudes use condoms less than they don't use condoms.
Yeah, it's weird.
Sense. Yeah. And or they'll look at the girl and be like, oh, I ain't using no condom with her.
Yeah, bro. And it's like that one decision gonna give you a kid or a fucking disease for the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. Sad, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing about it too is, like I mentioned before, this is not a slut shaming podcast, right? And I hate that term, by the way. But casual sex is fine. There's nothing wrong with casual sex at all. But the biggest issue is a lot of people cannot be responsible.
Yeah.
And they bring their irresponsibilities. And usually when you have sex with someone and it's casual, they're not always the most responsible person. Mm-hmm. So it's like the last dude probably hit him with no condom, and now they're like, hey, what's up, Keith? We can hang out, but then you use a condom. And it's like, if a woman said some shit like, well, you don't have to use a condom if you don't want to. If they say some shit like that,
I ain't gonna front. I heard that before. And I'm like, I don't need you to make that decision for me.
Yeah, right. If you hear that, I'll just be like, I don't even know if I want the pussy. I got
yeah, girls be wild, man. Sometimes it's one thing for like, you know, like I guess like women to protect themselves, but a lot of times dudes got to protect their own
100%,
because girls be out here loose too.
But dudes be too stupid, and a lot of times that men are so driven by sex that they'll just do anything.
Yeah, I heard some wild stuff like I missed my birth control this month, so you're gonna have to wear a condom. I'm like, I didn't need to know that. I'm strapping up regardless.
Oh, they're just like, I might be on my period. I might not be on it. I mean, I'm not too sure. And you'd be like, man, I'm not trying to like have a bloodbath in here.
Yeah, that's wild.
People just be super irresponsible. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just be smart about what you do.
Especially too, like the capacity in which I met some of these women. You know for sure that these women are sleeping with other dudes.
100%.
And, you know, for a girl to say like, oh, you don't have to wear a condom, that means like she's probably not wearing a condom with her other dude out there. And he's having sex with however many other women.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you know.
You know what's fucked up? If you think about the people that you've had relations with over the years, imagine if there was this large, like a bracket, right? A bracket like the bracket system where it shows like, okay, this person had sex with this person. You know how when they like basically they found out people having HIV, like they narrow it down, like they'd be like, this person had sex with this person, and this person you didn't use protection, this person, but this person had AIDS.
It looked like the NCAA bracket.
It looks like a big bracket. Imagine like a bunch of names. It looks like a honeycomb but with a bunch of names on it.
Yeah.
Imagine if they had a bracket and all the people you slept with, and eventually somebody had sex with like an animal or some shit.
It's for sure some dog lovers that didn't have sex with a dog out there.
It's so terrible.
There was this guy, you know how like older people take in people for some weird reason? Like it'd be like your great grandma or your grandma or something like that would just have a random guy living with them for like 3 or 4 months that's just kind of down on their luck. My grandma had this guy, I don't even know his name, some white dude, but he had a dog that lived with him, and he was staying in the garage at my grandma's house. And I think it was my mom or my dad or somebody said they had walked in, and the dog was like low key underneath the blanket. Like imagine me chilling right here, and the dog is underneath the blanket, and I got like just a covering the dog. And there might have been like some peanut butter or something laying around. It was just a weird setup. Yeah, and it was just like yeah. So he would have been on that bracket. It would have been like Buddy right here, and John right here.
Oh my God, poor dog.
Yeah,
call CPS.
Yeah,
you can't call CPS for animals though.
That's like PETA or something.
Yeah, PETA would come in there with PETA, get him out of there, yo.
Yeah.
PETA right now, I seen on Brilliant podcast, they was talking about PETA came out with this skin jacket. Like it was like a fake skin jacket, almost like a play on how we use animals for
like a human skin jacket.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Mm-hmm. And they was like, yo, at this point, PETA is just fucking trolling right now.
I think they troll a lot.
Yeah, they troll
especially
a lot.
On social media.
Yeah,
and stuff.
This and then Mouse Jones, shout out to Mouse. Mouse said, I wonder what these people have in their house.
You can't. Yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff is animal products. So
yeah,
that would be that. You know, it would be really interesting if like the CEO of PETA was like this huge gamer, like this huge hunting.
Yeah,
because I would be thinking like, even like a Joel Osteen. He has like a sketchy history of like
fuck. Go ahead.
He has a sketchy history of like obviously the money thing in the wall, and then not letting people in during the drought and stuff like that. So. I always think about the worst possible things when it comes to some of these, these very strong, one-sided, companies like PETA, churches, and stuff like that.
Yeah, PETA is just look. At the end of the day, there was a comedian that made a joke. They talked about it, and it says, "If you love animals so much, why are you eating their food?"
Facts. That's facts.
Then it was another joke they made. They said like, "You don't eat animals because they're live organisms, right? But a plant is a live organism."
I always thought that. even if you're like, well, that's just not how, they have a cycle of life and all that. If you look at a Venus flytrap, that's like a half an animal and half a plant. It's like a weird, I don't even know how they delineate that or designate that as far as like the plant kingdom. But that is like eating, it's a carnivore.
Yes, it is.
It's eating flies. And I'm just like, it doesn't even seem real, but if you look at that and relate that to the plants and the vegetables and lettuce and stuff that you're eating, I think you would change your mind.
Yeah, 100%, man. So shout out to
I think like some plants low-key be having feelings.
They do.
Because, you hear these stories about playing music for your plants and, how people like play music for their plants and water them in the morning and stuff like that and how vibrant they'll be.
Right.
Like that. So honestly, we don't know enough about plants. Like we've only been probably researching plants and stuff for, I don't know how many years, a few thousand years, right? Yeah. So if we think about like how much information is exponential.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe in 10 years we'll be like, oh, plants actually have feelings. Plants actually have relationships.
This plant identifies as leafy.
This is a homosexual plant.
Oh, this is a non-binary plant. Oh my God. Oh, this is so crazy. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is a transracial plant. You could play certain music, you said, for plants. Yeah. And I guess that affects the growth. But imagine like if you start playing rap music and then the plant gets shot. The plant gets shot. The plant gets shot up. You be like, yo, somebody shot my plant, yo. My Venus flytrap started listening to Tupac and got shot. You start playing NBA YoungBoy and the plant start growing dreads.
Your plant started listening to Lil Wayne and just started drinking lean.
Oh man, yo, what's up? You seen Lil Wayne recently? My God, dude.
Actually, I seen him in a music video with Corday. I don't know. I love Lil Wayne. I'm a big fan, but he's looking a little bit.
And here's a problem, man. Like, you can like this. It's like you don't want to be an asshole and make observations about someone's life and how they look and this and that. And I don't know if he's dealing with something or if he's just on something, but Lil Wayne and Soulja Boy need to go to rehab from what I can see. Because I don't want to be like that person that's shitting on him. But I have a genuine concern for Lil Wayne. He's barely older than me.
You're like 38?
No, I think Lil Wayne's 39 or 40. Is he 40 yet?
I think he's 39.
No way, dude. He's been rapping so fucking long, but he started at 11 years old.
Yeah.
Let's see. Lil Wayne. Google is dope. Okay, Google. He's 39. Yeah. Fuck. Same age as my sister. This motherfucker.
Because I remember it was trending on Twitter. I don't know when his birthday was, but some people was like, yo, Lil Wayne ain't even 40 yet. And I was like, damn.
He been rapping since he was 11.
That's a trippy part about select like a Chris Brown or even a Bow Wow or these kind of guys. Like they've been around for so long, you be thinking they older than they are, but yeah, it's crazy.
It says, somebody put, what is Lil Wayne sickness? It says, Wayne, who has epilepsy, was transported to Northwestern Memorial where he had another seizure. Oh, God. But I think a lot of these seizures have been linked to the fucking promethazine, too.
Yeah, the lean and not sleeping,
Yeah.
Some people be in the studio for however many hours and stuff. That's what Rick Ross said.
Yeah.
Saying that.
Ross had some little video recently. He's like, we got to thank God for life. Thank God to the doctors to save me.
I got love for Rick Ross. He kind of like when he likes to. He still makes really good music.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
And I don't know if he would ever retire from music, but once he's like, his post rap career is going to be a super legendary one. Like, who knows? Like, who knows where he goes from here?
He'll be having a conversation and randomly throw something about food in there. Like, I started up a lot of businesses, and then I said, you know what? I want to invest in something that I really like. So I invested in Wingstop. Mm-hmm. I get the lemon pepper with about 9 pieces with a little bit of seasoning extra on there. Oh.
He's like the best marketer. He'll be on the Breakfast Club talking about Wingstop and all that. And he actually promoting the book, but he always throwing the Wingstop, the checkers in there and stuff he invested in.
Rick Ross will make you buy some shit you really don't need. You'd be like, why should I buy these wings? What's so different about them? They taste heavenly.
What's the name? Charlamagne always say Rick Ross needed to do a cookbook where he's narrating a cookbook or something.
Oh my God, that'd be so dope.
Yeah.
It's like, these chicken wings will make you slap your mama. I know she gave you birth, and I know you don't want to be disrespectful, but you eat my wings, you gonna slap your mom in the face. Straight up, in my yayo. Dade County.
That is Ross. Blast is on Rick Ross's new album.
Blast is everywhere.
Yeah, that nigga's everywhere.
He's on Nas, but not on Nas' album. This guy is everywhere. Shout out to Blast, yo.
Yeah, that's not too. I don't know if too many like up and coming artists have had the OG stamp as much as like Blast.
That shit is ridiculous.
Because I can't say, especially him. He's a singer, so he his hooks is like. You could always collaborate with certain people.
Blast has the certain pitch and the certain voice that, and I'm gonna say this ahead of time so we can look at this another 10, 15 years from now and we'll see that I'm probably right. I feel like Blast has almost worked himself into like a Nate Dogg position.
Yeah, that's what people, especially, I mean, us being on the West Coast, we know.
Right.
But even with Nate Dogg, I would, and no disrespect to Nate Dogg, I think Blast might have a higher projection as a solo artist than Nate Dogg. Because Nate, and I'm not trying to disrespect Nate Dogg. He for sure a legend, and he does have like solo songs that were amazing. But second to none when it comes to hooks. 21 Questions.
Oh my God.
What's the Area Codes? Ludacris.
Yeah. Yes.
He got. I forget the name of the song with Eminem. Ain't No Fun. Straight like I'm sure when they was like they like, yo Nate, we need one of them, and they put on the beat and he just go in the booth and start singing.
When you play Ain't No Fun If the Homie Can't Have None, everybody knows the words to that song. And the words, especially Nate Dogg's, is disgusting, but he's singing them. Yeah. So I was like, 'cause you gave me all your pussy, and you even licked my balls. Yeah. And what's funny is like, especially in today's world, it'll be women in the club and that song will come on and they'll be like, and you even lick my balls.
They singing it, yeah.
But usually those are women around my age.
Yeah.
But probably the like younger people really, they don't think they indulge in like.
Nah, for sure. I played it yesterday.
What?
I was low key DJing yesterday at my cousin's.
DJ Keith. Everybody put your glasses in the air.
DJ Sweaty Balls. Nah, I was like, cause my I guess he's my uncle technically, but he's my aunt remarried, but her husband was DJing, and he don't really like. It was they young. My cousin just turned 21, so and it was also her younger sister's. She I think she's turning 16, but. They're young, so he started off playing like some older music and stuff like that, and everybody was just sitting down chilling. And then he started playing like the dance songs, like the Stinky Leg. You always got to throw those in there. But probably like halfway through the function, they kept calling me over to find songs, and I was just like, man, just let me do it. And I was just playing like. I played that. So you got to like throw it in there. You got to ease like the OG songs in there. And that song came on and like they knew the words. I even played, that Sugar Free song, like bitch, why you boot? Yeah. I played that song and they was low key dancing to that too. So. Yeah,
like bullshit. That shit always go
Sugar
in.
Free.
Yeah, that shit go in.
Sugar Free is not to be like name dropping, but we went to his house and he was like a very interesting person.
Yeah, I remember you talked about it. You went to Sugar Free's house.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what was that in Big Bear, you said?
Yeah, and it's real, that whole like pimp culture, that thing, like the way they treat their women and stuff like that. It's a real thing.
And he had women there, huh?
He had one. He got it, like, I guess it's his real partner or his real girl, but like, the way that he like communicates with her is like that real pimp culture.
Very pimpery.
Yeah, very pimpery. Yeah.
Like, go get me some of that milk over there, your baby. Let me get some of that sauce that you had other last night.
I will say, Sugar Free is probably like, as far as the OGs, the old West Coast rappers, because it be from the 90s, it'd be people still trying to make music, and some of it is not that good. Like some of it doesn't age that well, but Sugar Free probably played like 20 songs and he's still like a legit, really, really good rapper.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's just kind of unfortunate. Like recently, you see the most recent verses with Bone Thugs and 3 6 Mafia almost getting in a fight.
That's crazy. What was that, Busy Bone?
Yeah, he too old. He's like, I'm gonna tell y'all don't be mocking me when I'm doing my shit.
Yeah.
And he just like threw a mic or a bottle of water.
Devil worshiping 666 Mafia.
It's the thuggish wrong. That was the wrong group, dude. They fucked up. They shouldn't have 3 6 Mafia against Bone Thugs. They should have had Wu-Tang against Bone Thugs. That would have made more sense. There's more members because there's more. Like 3 6 Mafia got a decent amount of original members, but it really came down to like DJ Paul, Juicy J, and like Crunchy Black. It was only 3 of them, and then they had a bunch of old original members, but they didn't really stick together.
I think the leverage they have is that Juicy J has a crazy solo career.
Yeah, he does.
So I can see that. I think that them two, their music is more like closely related as far as like tone and stuff like that. But I don't know if anybody could battle Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang shut them down.
Wu-Tang shutting, as far as the group goes.
Yeah, Wu-Tang would have shut them down.
Solo careers, group projects, just RZA on the production, like you can't beat that.
That's like Bone Thugs is the only group that could be up on the stage with Wu-Tang. Because there ain't no other ones.
But I don't even think that, because the way that Wu-Tang is put together, it's like you got producers, you got freaking rappers, and then they could leverage like the TV shows and acting, and it's just like singing. Method Man is like one of the up and he's not, I won't say call him an up and coming actor, but he's making his own noise as far as acting now and stuff like that. So yeah. And then RZA is like scoring movies and all kind of crazy stuff. I think Bone Thugs, they have like hits for sure. Yeah. And maybe bigger hits, but I just think like the way that Wu-Tang is like put together, like it's just different.
I'm wondering like what can like Migos, who could they go up with?
The Migos?
Have they already battled?
No, they haven't been on there.
Haven't been on there?
The Migos? That would be tough.
Fuck.
Cause they got legit #1 records. What about, this may sound a little crazy, but Migos versus Ray Shrimmer.
Oh fuck!
Cause Ray Shrimmer, Sway Lee got hits too.
They got straight. I think honestly, I think Ray Shrimmer to watch them.
Really,
bruh, they got some bangers, dude.
No Flex Zone.
They got 2, and the thing is I don't even like. They got around the same size catalog.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah, I think Ray Shrimmer to watch Migos, bro. And Migos is dope as a group. Yeah. But damn, that's a trip. When we seen them live too.
Yeah. That was pretty dope. Yeah.
That's dope, man.
That was really dope, man.
Yeah. All right. Switching gears. You brought it up. It dawned on me right now. Fucking Joel Osteen. Mm-hmm. Recently, a plumber found cash and checks stashed in a wall at Joel Osteen's Houston mega church. A plumber doing a repair at Pastor Joel Osteen's Lakewood Church found hundreds of envelopes of cash and checks hidden in a wall that police think is connected to a massive 24 theft at the Houston mega church. Officers were called to the church on November 10th to investigate the discovery, according to a statement from the Houston Police Department. Church members stated that during the renovation project, a large amount of money, including cash checks and money orders, was found inside a wall The statement said. Police said the evidence from the recovered check suggests that the envelopes are connected to the March 9, 2014 theft of undisclosed amounts of money from the church. CNN reported at the time about $600,000 to $200,000 in cash and $400,000 in checks was taken from the church safe. The money can be from contributions given on March 8th and March 9th. Nigga, you made that
Just
much money in one day?
Oh my gosh.
Joel Osteen is pimping. That's not even. Jeez, man. Burglary and theft officers intervened, inventoried and documented the recovered money and left it in the custody of the church because it was property found on its premises, the statement said. Police said the investigation is ongoing. Lakewood Church confirmed the discovery in the statement provided to CNN, but did not provide the additional information because the investigation is still active. I'll just say this. I'll be the first to say it before it comes out. Joel Osteen is a crook, okay? Joel Osteen is a crook. Something's wrong with this guy. And that money that came up missing is in his wall. Like that's just too convenient.
I don't know if it necessarily points to that. I think it could be a couple different things. I think that somebody might have stole money from the church. I think that's possible. And I also think that maybe if it was on the hands of Joel Osteen, that he just didn't want to pay no tax. Well, there's a nonprofit church. They ain't paying no taxes.
That was one day of money.
That's a lot of money. Yeah. I just don't know why he would hide money in a wall if that was him. I think that there might be some people that are working possibly like underneath him. Because in order to get money in a wall like that, you need like some contracted. Yeah. And not necessarily, you could have a handyman do the job, but you need somebody that knows what they're doing as far as plumbing and putting up walls and stuff like that. So that's not no regular.
Here's a part two. It says there was a loose toilet in the wall and we removed the tile. Went to go remove the toilet and move some insulation away. About 500 envelopes fell out of the wall. And I was so like, crazy. Oh, wow, the caller said. The caller said he contacted the maintenance supervisor and turned in the money. Man, I'm going to keep it like this. If I find $600,000 that fall out of a wall, I'm going to report $200,000. Because if I know here's the thing. I'm not a thief at all, but if I come across some shit like that,
that's yours, huh?
I'm already in fear for my life.
Yeah.
Because I found all this money, and you know me as a contractor, right? So it's like,
that's some Ozark type stuff.
I'm going to get something out of this.
Yeah.
Because that shit's crazy. And the thing about it was in his church like this, bro. That's probably why he didn't want nobody coming up in his church when that fucking flood in New Orleans when it happened?
Yeah. Yeah, that's I probably just because, I don't know, I got a strong fear of God. I just don't, I wouldn't necessarily, if I was doing maintenance on a restaurant or something and that money fell out, or even an arena or something and that fell out, I wouldn't mind keeping it, but I don't know about a church. But
that's crazy.
Yeah, this has like a crazy outcome written all over it. Like this might be one of the most notorious findings in a long, long time.
There's some drug dealer shit. That's what drug dealers do.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you think that that's the only money he's got hidden in that mega church, he could have got that mega church in some way to hide money. Because here you got to understand, somebody who's doing something and may not be doing something 100% legal may be afraid that they're going to come for you one day. And when they come for you, you will have things that you wash the money somehow, or you actually hid cash in your church. So worst come to worst, you can always have access to it. So, dog, anybody that have a fucking mega church that makes this much money, it's like, dog, I think you using the Lord as a business. You're not really, like, I don't know, bro. It's hard for me to take these like televangelist people seriously. Yeah. Have you ever heard of Peter Popoff? Mm-mm. Oh my God, yo. Peter Popoff was the worst motherfucker ever, bro.
I've heard the name in like rap songs before.
Bruh, Peter Popoff was the worst televangelist. Okay. Peter George Popoff is a German-born American televangelist and debunked clairvoyant and faith healer He was exposed in 1986 for using a concealed earpiece to receive audio messages from his wife, who gave him the names, addresses, and ailments of audience members during Popoff-led religious services. So he was acting like a healer, but his wife was like, they got back problems. They got a bad gallbladder. They got cancer.
These dudes it's so eerie, man.
Yeah, it's disgusting, man.
Even when you ever just look at someone and you be like, yo, it's something off about them.
Yeah, he went to prison too.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, go ahead.
But I think the miracle water too, I see it right here. Yeah. I forgot about that.
He was selling the miracle water, yo.
That. Yep. But when you look, the way he looks, like, it's just something evil about him. Yeah. And, when you start to see, like, these are the type of people that get caught up, or you see certain mugshots and you're like, oh, that's kind of right in line. Like, his energy kind of lets you know that there was something, like, illegal going on. So as far as Joel Osteen, and I hope it's not true. I don't want, that to be the case. But when you kind of look at it, you just kind of put two and two together. You're just like, man, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, it's crazy. Peter Popoff or these televangelists will be like, I want you to give your life to Jesus Christ. I want you to put your hands up and say this. I will donate $24.99 and 99 cents to the faith ministries because the Lord wants me to heal myself. You'd be like, you guys are going to burn in hell.
No, I remember when I was in New Mexico, I was going to this church on campus. And it started out cool. Like, one of my friends had invited me to go, and it was like a Thursday night thing where you would show up to the church, and then on Saturday mornings they had these like ultimate frisbee games, which were pretty cool. And there was this guy, and I wish I don't want to reveal his name, but I don't remember his name anyways. They were kind of like recruiters in a sense. Like, right. You would go to church a little bit and then, eventually exchange numbers. Like, hey, man, would you mind if I, reach out to you or like let you know when with the Ultimate Frisbee game start and stuff like that. So, we exchange information and stuff like that. And we built somewhat of a relationship. So, I'm going to church on Thursdays. I'm playing Ultimate Frisbee pretty much every weekend. Maybe a weekend goes by where I get kind of busy and I can't make it out there, and they text me and let me know that there's going to be a game and stuff, right? So that kind of went on for a few weeks. And then I might have fell off a little bit, and then the guy messaged me. He's like, hey, man, would you mind, meeting me on campus? Maybe we can, grab lunch or something like that and, just chop it up for like an hour or so. So I met him. And what I felt like he was kind of pressing me a little bit.
Right.
Like, there was certain events coming up, like church events, like, hey, we're doing this. Just let me know if you can make it, or just we're going to such and such for a weekend, a camping trip or something like that. It's only this much, like, those kind of things. And it wasn't bad, but you could kind of tell he was pressing a little bit, right? So we met to have lunch or whatever, right? So we chopping it up, telling me how school's going. He's kind of telling me about himself. I think he was raised. He's from Michigan or something like that, and he had came to New Mexico to work with the church and stuff like that, right? So the conversation came up about like what I do for a little extra money on the side, and I was like, yeah, right now I do like Amazon stuff. So I was telling him like basically what I do is I go to Walmart. I buy discounted items, and then I'll ship them to eBay. eBay takes care of the customer service. So I'm giving him the whole rundown.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, it's pretty easy. So I was like, hey, man, like you should do it too. It's pretty easy. And he's like, oh, that seems pretty cool. He's like, honestly, like, I can't even do that. He's like, basically, he said, like, the way that our job is set up is like, I can't make more than $500 outside of the church. He's like, I kind of get paid in other ways as far as like recruitment and stuff like that. And I was, and it hit me. I was like, I was like, it's so unfortunate like that. I almost had like a disdain towards the way they operate.
Yeah.
Because I was like, it shouldn't be like a monetization connected to your recruitment because it doesn't seem legit. It
monetizing like Jesus Christ, bro.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like as far as running a church and stuff, you have to get paid because you're primarily you may be preaching 3 days out of the week, 4 days out of the week. You can't have a real job. But I'm just saying, like, when it comes to the eagerness in which you wanted to meet with me, you know, bring me to church and all these different things, it kind of put a sour taste in my mouth, because it's like, are you doing this because you genuinely care about me? Are you doing this because, you know, you genuinely want to bring people, you know, to God and all this kind of stuff? Or is it just because you, like, you want to get paid more money?
And I don't believe in that paying your tithes thing.
Why not?
I just don't. Because it's like, I guess, I forgot what percentage of what you make.
10%.
That's too much. 10% of my money to go to church. I can't just show up here and put money in the plate.
It is optional, though. You have to do it.
Yeah, you don't have to do it. But it's just like that whole idea of a percentage of, like, you don't deserve any access to anything. I think that me giving you anything should only be an organic exchange. If I come to church 20 times and I only donate twice, then I should be able to do that.
Yeah.
But it's crazy that these mega churches, dude, it was over $600,000 in one day. How much money? Man, let me look up this man's net worth. It's got to be stupid. Joel Osteen's net worth. Joel Osteen, net worth salary. Joel Osteen is an American preacher, televangelist, has net worth of $100 million.
Oh, my gosh. That's a lot of money.
Oh, my God, dude. $100 million. He's making more than that. Oh, my goodness. Joel Osteen's car. He got so many cars. Dude. And the thing is, I'm not pocket watching, but it's like, it's just kind of, it's a little odd to see people that, you know, talk about the Lord and they got Lamborghinis and Bentleys and.
I don't have that same gripe. I think, like, I don't know. I think, you know, as far as even being a Joel Osteen kind of person, he's famous now. So, you know, the amount of money that he's probably making from the church is like kind of pales in comparison to like his brand. I'm sure he's selling books and has a publishing company.
Yeah.
And, you know, he probably has his sermons syndicated and all this kind of stuff. So
yeah, TD Jakes up there too, though.
The TD Jakes be getting money.
Yeah, it's got him at $20 million.
I have a TD Jakes book I'm reading right now.
I've never seen anybody sweat more than TD Jakes.
Yeah, he's a real.
TD Jakes be sweating out.
TD Jakes is funny now because, like, he used to always wear suits when he was preaching. Now he be wearing like Burberry and Gucci and stuff like that.
What? Really?
Yeah, he be wearing drip.
Yeah, for me.
But he be dripping, so.
Yeah, he be dripping sweat. He should just be wearing a headband at that shit, man. I just think for me, and this is just me speaking, like if I'm making a lot of money, that's fine. But if I'm driving a Bentley to church, I just feel a little bit weird if the people driving up to the church barely have enough gas to get there. Or they you know, their cars are breaking down in my parking lot. I just feel like, I'm not saying that these aren't giving pastors that don't give back to the community, but at the same time, it's like, yo, one of my number one reasons to have a lot of money is to be of service to others. So if I was to have $40, $50 million tomorrow, I would be utilizing that money not only to secure my future and continue to make more money and make lucrative business deals, but also to look into my community and say, like, who's fucked up right now? Who's starving? Who doesn't have anything to eat? Who doesn't have a car? Who can't pay their utilities? You know, things like that.
I think it only. I don't think broke and Christian should like go hand in hand. So I don't want preachers to like be broke. I think it only looks bad on Joel Osteen because he has a history of not allowing people to camp out in his church when the flood came.
Exactly. Well, would you want somebody in your mega church when you got all that fucking money in the walls?
Nah.
I mean, you got to understand why he didn't let him in. And this goes back to when? How long ago was that?
A couple of years, maybe.
Yeah, let's see. That was a couple of years ago. Let's see. Okay, here it is. Joel Osteen defends not opening Lakewood Church. Let's open this. This is 2017. Joel Osteen defends not opening Lakewood Church in Houston to Harvey victims. It was in Harvey, Houston. 116,000 capacity Lakewood Church has been criticized on social media for not opening its doors. But you got to understand why. Because he was hiding money.
What did he say?
Oh, what did he say? Oh, he said, fuck all you motherfuckers. The Lord is my shepherd. He said Houston preacher Joel Osteen megachurch is now welcoming Texans displaced by Hurricane Harvey following an onslaught of social media criticism for initially staying shut. On Tuesday, Osteen tweeted that his church is providing shelter for hurricane victims. Victoria and I deeply care our fellow Houstonians. Lakewood doors are open and we are receiving anyone who needs shelter, he wrote. By the afternoon, hundreds of volunteers had arrived to collect bags with donations from locals, cars lined with buildings perimeter as people waited to hand in their donation. Paul Osteen, Joel Osteen's brother, said in Facebook Live on the megachurch page that doctors and nurses had arrived to volunteer at Lakewood. He said the church had set up a medical center for those in need. Joel Osteen said in a statement late Monday that he never shut his doors to those in need and shared pictures that appeared to show the church, which seats thousands, had experienced flooding in order to back up claims the church was inaccessible. So it was. I remember they showed a picture actually.
The crazy thing about Joel Osteen is like he really doesn't have to talk. Like this money in the wall, he don't have to say nothing. He could show up on Sunday and give a sermon and then just go home.
Yeah, that's it. He doesn't. He's not going to address it because first of all, the people that go to his mega church, they already are enamored by him. Mm-hmm. The thing that makes me sick though is when people look at their pastor as almost a godlike figure. Yeah. That's when I got a fucking problem.
Yeah.
Joel Osteen is a man, a very rich man. Mm-hmm. Okay, don't feel bad for him and don't praise him. You should praise God. I think you probably should skip church that Sunday and stay home and just open the book. Because this guy, that's some fucking Pablo Escobar shit, man.
Yeah,
you got shit hidden in the wall. Did you know that every year Pablo Escobar lost well over $1 million just because it rotted and rats ate it? Mm-hmm. That's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
He's got money still hidden. Did you know he still has money hidden all over the place right now?
I believe it.
There are some people that
out though.
No, not all of it. There's some people that found money in big drums, and it's wrapped up with a bunch of like plastic and wrapped up. One dude found a big drum in the ground, deep in it, opened it up, and there's money in it.
And it wasn't rotten. It wasn't rotten. Mm-mm. That stuff. If any sort of moisture gets in there, you know, it starts to rot and stuff like that.
All depends.
Stuck together and stuff.
You get stuck together, yeah. Mm-hmm. And it can happen very easily because it's money.
Yeah. It's just cotton, basically.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I just wonder what you can do to save it. You probably could put some type of salt or something in there, something that keeps the moisture out.
Yeah, or just do some, seal it airtight. But I think this is going to be an amazing movie one day. If this is really connected to some illegal stuff. That Joel Osteen story is going to be a crazy, like, FX 6-part series, miniseries, or something like that.
All right, let's see here. Pablo Escobar's money found. A nephew of the drug lord Pablo Escobar said he found $25 million in cash hidden in the wall of one of the infamous criminals' homes. Mm-hmm. Mr. Escobar told local television network Red Plus Noticia that it was not the first time he had discovered cash in his uncle's safe houses where he stashed it while evading authorities. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. How much of Pablo money has been found? At one time, the most wanted man on planet, the infamous drug lord Pablo Escobar buried huge amounts of his estimated $50 billion fortune all over Colombia.
That's crazy.
This motherfucker had $50 billion back then, yo. Jeff Bezos is the richest man in the world. What is he worth now? Like 200-something billion?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's worth like 200-something billion dollars, Jeff Bezos. So pound for pound, Pablo Escobar is richer than Jeff Bezos because the value of money in the early 90s, late 80s, this motherfucker had billions back then. Mm-hmm. It's fucking crazy. Mm-hmm. People sure love cocaine.
Yeah.
Shout out to cocaine, yo.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
DJ Keith. If I was Keith doing DJing, I would just say some random. Put your hands in the air if you love fried chicken. All the single ladies, make some noise. If you got high blood pressure, make some noise.
That's comedy.
Yeah. All right. Switching gears. Do. My phone. Wow, my phone. Switching gears. Sandra Bullock. Sandra Bullock recently made a statement on the Red Table Talk, and she was talking about her adopted kids. and the statement had regarded that sometimes she wishes her kids their skin colors matched. All right, and here's the thing. Let me go read the article. Actress Sandra Bullock recently opened up about being a parent to her adopted African-American children in a Red Table Talk interview with Jada Pinkett Smith and Adrienne Banfield Norris. And renowned actress Sandra Bullock is one of the most brilliant stars in Hollywood. She is known for her impressive performances in several movies such as Blindside, Bird Box, and Ocean's 8. The 57-year-old icon, hey, she pretty hot for 57.
Wasn't she getting smacked in Bird Box?
She gets smacked by some black guy like
Keith.
She gets smacked by a black guy that looked like Keith.
No way.
No. Won multiple accolades her career, including the Academy Award, the Golden Globe Award. Bullock was among the highest actresses paid in the industry. All right. Don't need to mention all this extra stuff.
Yeah, they just put her resume at the beginning.
Yeah, the resume is just at the beginning. Basically, make a long story short, she says, sometimes I wish their skin colors match because it would be easier. Meaning, first of all, I don't think that thought or her, I don't think she's racist at all. I just think that statement is pretty powerful because it shows the difficulty in raising a child that's a different culture than you. So she mentioned, like, I can never teach my kids, like, how to be black or what it means to be black, you know? And it's different. Like, for example, I think that, imagine I was to adopt or Keith was to adopt and, you know, we're black, our wife is black, our family is black, and we adopt a Mexican kid. We could never teach a Latino or a Mexican kid about his culture. Like, we don't have we don't know all the endless nuances of his culture. As much as we could, you know, say things or whatever, I think it's important for someone to understand the roots of their culture. And people say, like, we're all the same. Nobody's different. We just different race. False. Mm-hmm. We don't grow up eating the same exact foods. We don't grow up using the same exact hair products. We don't grow up doing these things. And at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with that, right? It's just the fact that we need to stop sugarcoating it and acting like we're all the same because we're fucking not.
Yeah. I remember my one of my high school football teammates, and one of my boys, his name is Isaiah. So the guy, I don't want to say his name, but his I don't know if it was his parents or his sister or his aunt or someone in his family, in his immediate family, had adopted a black kid, right? And this dude sent in a group chat, he sent us a picture of the kid's head, and he was like, "Hey," to me and my boy Isaiah, he's like, "Hey, do you guys know what these are and how to get rid of these knots?" And basically, the picture that he sent us was just a nappy-headed kid.
Right.
And I just say that to say, like, he was just so clueless, and he thought it was something wrong with his head. When all he needed was a brush. And nigga just had a nappy head. But that's the type of, like, despair that happens between, you know, white parents that adopt these black kids.
Just anybody in general, but in regards to this subject matter, white. Like, if you look at your circle of friends in your family and you happen to be white, just naturally most people are white in there. Mm-hmm. So you never had any challenges in that regard, right? And it doesn't mean you racist because you don't got a lot of black friends. Sometimes it's just this is how the cards line up sometimes, right? Mm-hmm. But when you make it a point, or when you make it, you know, your life's purpose to adopt, which is fine, but you get a black child, and that child does not see hardly any black people, imagine what that does. Mm-hmm. Like, that kid's being brought up in a culture that's not reflective of who he is. Mm-hmm. So the thing about it, if you happen to have a nucleus of people around you, like you've had a best friend that's black for the last 30, 40 years, and you have a black child, you have somebody that you directly are linked to that can more or less be like a portal. Yeah. To, like, if you have any questions, or you could just send your kid with your homie, you know, for an extended amount of time. But people don't realize that this is it's something to say it's a real problem, but it's a real issue. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
That's the thing. Like I was telling you before, I think. I first want to say that Sandra Bullock has done a great thing.
Yes, she has.
Adopting children, without her adopting that child, and I don't know where she got them from.
100%.
But, these kids that don't get adopted, sometimes they end up in group homes, sometimes they end up on the streets or
prison.
whatever. Like exactly. She's done a great thing by essentially saving that kid's life. But I think it's for her. And I don't know who her real friends are. Sometimes we like to, as casual people or civilians, we like to, put people together just because they made a movie together or just because they're both celebrities and stuff. So her real friends may literally be just some soccer moms that live in her neighborhood or something like that. One may be a doctor, one may be the husband or the wife to a lawyer or something like that, or a dentist, whatever the case may be. But I think it would be great for her and important for her kids, maybe. And I don't think that she's friends with these people, but, say she friends with Will Smith, drop her kids off over at Will Smith house, or, say she friends with Jay-Z, take them, send them over to the Carter's house so they could just be around, their own culture. Because I think it's the parenting. I'm pretty sure she's a great parent. She probably know how to teach her kid how to, make sure they're getting good grades, make sure they're respectful and all these different things. But when it comes to just the cultural nuances, and it's the same thing with the Colin Kaepernick situation where, I think his parents were great parents. They raised him to be respectful. Obviously, he was really smart and got good grades, but it was just something missing. And I think that's the type of thing that it's not even your job to do so. But it is, I think, your job to make sure that they are informed, make sure that they're in a space where they can at least communicate with people from their own culture. Because I think a lot of those people, like in like Colin Kaepernick's situation, like they make this hard turn because they didn't really grow up in it. Right. But for people like us, it's kind of regular. We've always kind of been like aware of black things and aware of black culture. But sometimes it could be like a hard turn, or sometimes it could be a rude awakening. Like, they could be getting like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air episode where Carlton thinks that he like good. You know what I mean? My dad is the judge or the lawyer or whatever. And he not really aware of like what's really going on in the world.
We'll know what was up.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, that's a trip. Mm-hmm. Sandra Bullock was a great mother in Bird Box. I think that counts for something.
Yeah, true.
What Sandra Bullock should have did is she should have asked that black dude she was having sex with in the movie about how to raise a black kid.
She was too busy getting smacked.
She should have asked Tom. That was his name, right? The black dude's name was Tom?
I don't remember.
Yeah, Bird Box was a good movie.
Dude was like a legit athlete.
Yeah, he was.
He ran track at like Texas or something like that.
Yeah. He's a pretty good actor. He's in a few films.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what was funny about that too is the dude, that's a young dude. That dude's only like, he's not even 30. He's like 28 or something.
Mm-hmm.
What's funny about it is the age gap is wild.
Yeah. Old white cheeks.
Yeah. She's 57, which is crazy. And Bird Box came out when? Was it a couple years ago? Like 2 years ago?
Maybe longer than that.
Really?
Yeah. I would say 3 or 4.
It was a Netflix exclusive film when it came out.
Yeah, that was a minute ago.
Let's see.
I guess 4.
That was a minute ago. I remember everybody had those memes.
Yeah.
2018,
yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I forgot Machine Gun Kelly was in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right after he had that beef with Eminem.
Yeah.
Yo, Machine Gun Kelly was winning after that, yo.
They got Megan Good. I mean, not Megan Good.
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox, yeah.
Yeah. Tom, that's the black dude's name in the movie. Trevante Rhodes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude is. Oh no, my bad. Yeah, he's 31.
31.
Yeah, he's
still young.
Still young dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a good film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just.
But I think I what I was telling you before too. I was like, this isn't her first rodeo. She played, the character in The Blind Side. So I don't know if her kids were, she got her kids prior to that or after that or whatever. But I think that she genuinely cares, and I don't want black people to try to like throw her under the bus or bash her or whatever. Things, yeah, it's not. I think she's done the greatest deed, trying to adopt those kids.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of black people that may give her some sort of flack for her statement, but would not go down to that adoption agency and
That's a fact.
Try to adopt a kid, even if they were black or Mexican or whatever the case.
That's a fact. That's why I mentioned at the top of it. I don't think she's racist at all. I just think she had a real moment and a real feeling, and that's how she really felt. But the fact that people don't understand nuance and they can't have a real conversation without just trying to tear someone apart, they don't even want to hear it. I think that honestly, she would have did a better job of keeping this to herself and keeping this to like a conversation in person with somebody, because people are too ignorant to actually be open-minded enough to see how she was feeling. The statement she was basically making is this is more difficult than I intended. Yeah. And although I love my child, regardless of them being black or whatever they are, it is more difficult because I don't want to rob them of their culture. I don't want to impede them. I love them. I want to help them. However, I don't want to impede them for something that they would receive naturally if they had a black mother.
Yeah.
That's all she really was saying.
I think it's important conversation, and not necessarily for us, because just like similarly to the Colin Kaepernick thing, that wasn't really for us. A lot of that was for... He's adopted, but some of that was for the biracial kid, and then some of that was for the adopted, kid that has parents that are not the same ethnicity. But I think that conversation is important, and it may be a niche conversation, but there are parents out there like the Angelina Jolies and obviously Colin Kaepernick's parents, and a couple other people out there that have adopted black kids. And I think that their struggle is important to them. You know what I mean? Their struggle as far as like the identity crises that their children may go through, or, just like you were saying, teaching them about their own culture, or, or understanding, or the lack of understanding that you may have when your child experiences different racism and discrimination and stuff like that. Just like in Colin Kaepernick's situation, his parents were really dismissive of some of the stuff that he was going through. Like, oh, it wasn't that bad. She was just checking in on us, and, that kind of stuff. So, that's kind of that kind of blinders that those type of parents have on. But yeah,
you actually have family that have adopted.
Yeah, my aunt, she her kids are Mexican.
Both of them are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing about it is although the love is already there, what I'm saying, it's just as they get older, but there are people in the family that are Mexican.
Even yeah, for sure. Even I have a couple, I think, uncles that adopted kids prior to them getting with the mom, if that makes sense. So my uncle Jerome, he had a relationship with this woman, and she had a white child before getting together, and he adopted her. So that's another thing in itself, So
that's a trip though. Yeah. I think if you have, I think that here's the thing though. If you do, regardless if you're a black family and you adopt a white kid, that kid is still going to be black leaning. You get what I'm saying? Like they're going to be black leaning, meaning that the things they say, the things they do are going to be more in line with black culture, and it's not a bad thing. But it's just you become a product of your environment. And I know some people that's like there are some people that have been, or even not even that. Like I know this dude where his mom is Mexican, but his stepdad is black. But his stepdad been there since he was like 1. But
that's basically his dad.
But he's black. He's like black leaning. Like
I'm curious to see how my younger cousins, they're like 6 and 4 or 6 and 5 or something right now. And they're just too young to actually have like a real identity. But yeah, I'd be curious to know when they start to become, because they already be like, my aunt, she'd be braiding their hair, they be wearing do-rags to sleep and stuff like that. So I'm curious to see how they be acting when they 13, 14, listening to rap music and whatnot.
Oh, that's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
They it's like the thing is too is it's just the culture, man.
Yeah, it's just the culture.
It's the culture. Like I know some people. Well, I lived in Delano back in the day for 7 years, and I know this dude. I ain't gonna say no names, but he grew up in Delano, and when I talk to him, he speaks obviously English, but he has a little bit of a Spanish accent, even though he's black.
Oh wow, dang, that's crazy.
Yes,
like still to this day.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like he obviously speaks regular English, but he has a accent as if he's about to speak Spanish, but he doesn't speak Spanish.
Ah, dang, I got to hear this.
Yeah,
that's
bro.
crazy.
Yeah, bro.
He sound like one of those baseball players.
No, he just sound like you talking to one of your homies, bro. Like it's just the like. For example, me and you talking, but they know based off of our dialect that we're black.
Yeah.
The same as if you're talking to one of your Mexican
Oh,
homies.
I got you. Yeah. And it's not really like, it just like black people sound, like when you're talking on the phone, somebody sound black, but he might sound like he could pass for being Mexican.
100%. Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I wonder how that works, because I feel like there's I wonder if it's the tone of our voices or it's the way we speak, if that makes sense. Because I say that to say, like, when there's a white person, like say you got like an Eminem,
Right.
who when he first started rapping, a lot of people didn't even know he was white.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he kind of, I guess he, in terms of what we're saying, he's kind of like black leaning. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I say that to say, like, I wonder if Eminem is a white person that kind of favors, his tone of voice sounds black, but you also know he's a white boy. You just know he kind of sounds black.
Right.
So I wonder what the guy you're talking about, does he like sound like a black guy sounding a little bit like Hispanic or something?
Yeah, that's exactly how he sounds.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, but that's just what it is, man. If you're around a bigger group of people, they basically they own that space.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's like that one white kid that hangs out with nothing but black guys. Like they own that space. You know, there's some places in there's some places in America that are indirectly still segregated, especially in the South. And if you got a couple white dudes that go there, they're gonna have gold teeth in their mouth, man.
Yeah.
Gold teeth and braids.
There was a dude that came from New York or something like that when I went to Kern. And he showed up. He had a freaking pea coat, and it's not cold enough in Bakersfield to ever wear a pea coat.
Wow.
He had like a pea coat on, and he had like a grill in his mouth.
Wow. This was in school, in junior high? What the fuck? It's just so different, man. Parts of the country is so, it's like parts of the country is like living in a whole nother country.
It really is.
It's really strange.
The way they talk, even the lingo, like you say like a pie for a pizza in New York and stuff.
Yo, let me get a pie, yo. Yo, what's good? Let me get a pie, yo.
That hero sandwich.
Yeah, they be eating chopped cheese and shit. You know what's hilarious? What I hate people that lived in Bakersfield and then they moved to another state and then they become like they was always from there. Like they'll move to like Texas and they're like, hey, what's going on, man? How you doing? Like, if you don't shut the fuck up, you only been living there 3 years, motherfucker.
Yeah. That's funny. I've heard from a couple people that I have an accent.
Really?
Like when I was in New Mexico and stuff like that. Yeah, they was.
I mean, they just talk funny.
Yeah. They don't really talk funny in New Mexico. I'm just saying, like, I guess certain words, the way you pronounce them, they would be like, oh, I could tell he not from here.
But what accent did they try to narrate? Like,
it's not like, it's not a draw like Texas or something, but it's just the way that I guess I pronounce words that they would be like, oh, he's not from New Mexico. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You just have a very neutral tone. Like me.
But we live here, is what I'm saying. So somebody in New York, they wouldn't be like, yo, I got a New York accent. It's just like, I live in New York. This is how we talk. Yeah.
Fuck. That's true, though. Like, we really don't know how we sound.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's so crazy. I always, my brain be working weird sometimes. I was wondering one day, I was like, yo, what do we sound like to people that don't know English? Because, you know, when you're hearing people speaking Japanese, it sounds very aggressive, or Chinese, it sounds very aggressive. Or you hear like people speaking Spanish, it sounds a certain way if you don't know exactly what they're saying. So I was like, dang, I wonder what people hear from us when they don't know what we're saying. And there is a video on YouTube that somebody made that basically lets English speakers know how we sound to people that don't speak English.
Wow.
And it's really weird, but when you hear it, you be like, oh, okay, I get it. This is how we sound.
You know what the problem with Americans, especially like Americans need to cut this shit out. Like if they don't know Spanish, they'll be like, I need to use the bathroom-o. You
can't just put an O at a word.
The cinco. My name is David-o. You're like, motherfucker, that's not Spanish. You lazy motherfucker.
My name is David-o.
Yeah. The caro.
That's funny.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's comedy.
Yep. But looks like we made it to the end of this one, man. We appreciate all those for the continuous support. We've only got 3 more podcasts to end the year, man. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we won't make it to that 200 mark. It'll be after the year. But, yeah, we appreciate it.
But we already started our resolutions now.
We did, man.
Consistent with this podcast.
Yeah, for reals. We got a few more subscribers to the YouTube, man. Make sure you head over.
Hit that subscribe button, the notification bell, all that.
We need all the subscribers we could get on YouTube, man. Mm-hmm. It's been a tough stretch so far.
Yeah,
SoundCloud's doing good, but
still thugging.
Yeah, that YouTube is on. That YouTube is struggling right now. That YouTube is on that. You see that thing where that old black dude fell down off those crates, and he's like, "When I fell down."
Nah, I didn't see that.
Oh, bro, you got to see that shit.
That's funny.
Yeah, but this is what I want you guys to do. Go to TikTok and look up, just put in "when I came down," and it's going to show that video of that black dude that fell off those crates.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's so fucking hilarious, man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you made it to the end of this podcast, we appreciate you. Thank you for listening to a Trucker's Mind podcast. I'm Eddie McGee.
It's your boy K Fings.
We're out of here.
Peace.